That looks about right. So a downhill shot, basically what you're trying to do is allow yourself in your setup so that the momentum can follow the slope. You're going to make sure that you let the weight bring you to your forward leg. Do not resist the slope. Do not try to lift the ball off the slope. You're just going to hit it with the bottom of the club and just scull it or top it down the slope. What you want to do is you want to let gravity pull you down to the slope, and how you do that is you let gravity bring the butt down the hill. The ball is basically going to be center, even maybe a little slightly forward of center. And you could play it a little bit back in your center if you want to, but then you'll have to make a modification as to direction. So I prefer to keep it usually in the very same position, club in the center, ball just forward. Get behind the golf ball, my butt is down the hill. You can even roll your right foot in a little bit because there's no weight shift here. Everything stays on the inside of your left foot. If you try to shift your weight up the hill, again, you're putting yourself in a position to hit it fat, hit the club, hit the ground before the golf ball. So I'm keeping the weight down the slope, and I'm just pivoting around that leg. And then I'm going to use the momentum of my swing to chase the ball down the slope. It's the only way to get solid contact on the golf ball. So the club is going to go up a little bit steeper and then down and low through that golf ball. And this is a great way to feel the bracing of your left side. You're going to feel how natural it is to really finish solid through that left hip, left knee, and left ankle. So you're going to really appreciate the strong finish sensation that this shot is going to give to you. So if you're having a hard time, your foot's spinning out, you're not shifting your weight properly, do a few downhill shots, and you get a much better sensation of that brace with that left side. I'm going to flip this around, and I'll show you the uphill shot. Okay. The opposite, having the shot going up the hill, again, you're going to let gravity bring you down to your downhill leg. For all you skiers out there, you got your downhill leg. You want to have the weight on the inside of that downhill leg. And then you want to make sure that your body is set up where it feels like it's perpendicular to the slope, where you feel that you're really going to be swinging up the slope severely. And it's going to feel like you're going up the slope and to the right. Remember we talked about being behind the ball. This is an elaboration on that. So again, the club is in the center and the ball is just forward of the club. Get behind the golf ball. I'm going to make a full backswing. So you notice at the end of my backswing, my left foot is still in the air, or my left heel is come off the ground and it's in the air, and my left knee is well behind that ball. But I am completely braced, solid inside that right hip and that right ankle. And I'm going to remain there all the way to the finish. So I'm going to swing through the ball, all the way to the finish, and you'll notice how that left side has returned around this pressure point. It's on the inside of that right hip, right knee, and right ankle. And at the finish of the swing, my body's facing the target, but my right heel is still not off the ground. So my left leg is supporting, preventing me from falling into the slope. My right leg is supporting, preventing me from going down the slope. This is one of the most powerful shots you will hit. So we're staying inside, and we're using the momentum and that leverage to pull with the club up the slope. One more time. Club in the center, ball forward. Get behind the ball, feel like you're whipping up the slope. I'm going to gather my leverage and my momentum. Pull the club assertively up the slope. Now my 5-iron is normally my 190 club, and we are just a hair downwind. I just hit that shot about 220. So I hope this really helps you visualize the kind of power you can hit off a shot like this. Now I'm going to show you ball below the feet. Okay, a shot that many of you fear, ball below the feet. Now, ball below the feet You've heard a lot of things like, well, you got to make modifications and aim a little more to the left because the shot's going to fly a little to the right, and vice versa. When the ball is above the feet, I'm going to aim a little more to the right because the shot's going to go left. In reality, if you're in balance and you're swinging through the golf ball will always go straight. All right? So that takes care of a lot of extra things that you don't have to worry about. Take dead aim, get in balance, swing through the ball. All right? Now, how do I get in balance with the ball below my feet? Well, I'm going to need to sit on the heels more and use the front of the feet. All right? You're going to feel a little tension here in that tibia muscle, or the anterior tibialis muscle, as one of my buddies, Randy Kaysen, used to say. I'm going to sit solid on top of my heels, and I'm going to stay on my heels. So you notice that right foot is bolted to the ground. And this has a lot of advantages, because if you're having a hard time clearing that left side through the ball, well, the best way to do that is to stay flat-footed. Imagine that. On the backswing, in order for me to keep pressure on the inside of my left ankle, I got to turn that right side back around to redistribute the weight. On the way through, to keep the weight still inside the right ankle, obviously at the end of the swing I have more weight over here on my left side, but the remaining portion of the weight should still be on the inside of the right until momentum pulls me completely off. In this case here, I'm not going to let that happen. I want to stay nice and bolted. So that clears the left side out of the way and allows that club to square up beautifully. So here we go. Nice and solid. Taking dead aim. Stay solid through those heels. Here we go. Okay. A little bit of a fade, but that ball did not start to the right. And the reason why the ball has a tendency to start to the right is when you fall down the slope. And as you're falling down the slope, because you're out of balance, you're pushing the club outside the line, and the momentum is going to the right. Here we go. That ball was right on target. So I hope that's of help. And to finish off, I'm going to show you the ball above the feet. All right. Ball above the feet. Obviously, I can't be on my heels anymore. I'd fall down the slope. So I need to reposition my center of gravity solidly over my feet. This time it's going to be at the front of the arch of my foot, right over the balls of my feet. Probably one of the only times that you'll really have the weight on the balls of the feet. So I'm directing that pressure through the hips. So it's through the hips, knees, and the balls of the feet. You don't really want to have the heels floating, though. You still want to have those securely on the ground. From here, as I swing, I take a practice swing just to see where that club's going to bottom out. Beautiful. Bring that to the ball. Now from there, I make sure that I feel very balanced. I'm going to make sure, I'm still going to be behind the ball. I'm going to make sure that I stay nice and balanced over my feet in the backswing. And then from there, the focus is making sure I get all the way through the golf ball. Here's where the through video comes in very handy. Pretend there's a second ball up in front. Or you're going fishing. The pond is out there. All right? So here we go. Behind the ball, but focus through that golf ball. That felt so good. Had the weight solid on my feet. Swung all the way through, finished in terrific balance. And because I was swinging through the ball went straight. I didn't have to make any compensations for the ball to go to the left because it stayed very, very straight. So I hope this dispels a few myths for you and simplifies the whole ordeal. If you have any questions, feel free to write us. You can check out our website at www.golflearningcenter.com, and center spelt the Canadian way, C-E-N-T-R-E. And looking forward to your comments. Take care.